What's going on, people? It is Irish Gunner HD here, you can call me Irish, and today you're going to be watching some highlights from a game of Conquest on Gulf of Oman. Now, it's a very long gameplay. It was about 42 minutes real time, and I've obviously cut up, and I'm just going to show you the highlights. But I just wanted to say really quickly about it, if I switch it up a lot. I don't play any one role, I don't play any one class or anything like that. I switch it up, there's a bit of assault, as you can see right now, there's a bit of engineer, a bit of recon, I believe, at one stage. And in the tanks and in the helicopters, playing vehicles and stuff like that as well. So it's got a bit of everything. It's good, enjoyable gameplay. And in fact, it's probably one of the longest streaks that I've ever gone on. Maybe not necessarily the highest or the best or the most amount of kills, but certainly the longest. I'll point out when it starts because I actually set a marker in Sony Vegas. But it's really long. Like, there's about 3 or 4 times where I cut it down and I shortened bits and pieces, in between like the action. But it's all one life. It's all one really, really long life. And I just thought it was mental. So thought I'd point it out. But yeah, getting on to the topic of today's video. This screenshot is pretty much everything. So, read that there for a second. I'll give you a second. Right. So yeah, LevelCap tweeted out pretty much that the M16 is burst fire in Battlefield 4. So if you don't know the background to this story, basically LevelCap, the Battlefield YouTuber, which you should know, God, you really should know. If you don't know, then go watch LevelCap. He's much more entertaining than I am. But yeah, LevelCap and a load of, I'll get to this later, but a load of Call of Duty commentators, it seemed like, went to DICE LA, the DICE Los Angeles headquarters, I think it was, and they all got to play the most recent build of Battlefield 4, which is pretty cool because the one that people were playing at E3 and Gamescom was a really pre-alpha build, I believe. So they were playing a build that seems to be either probably the final build or like the beta build that we're all gonna get to play as well. Because realistically, there's only about a month or so left until the beta comes out, and then there's only about a month or so until the full game comes out. So with the printing of discs and like all the stuff that they do, I know it's mainly digital and all for PC guys and all, but like for console and PS3 and PS4 and Xbox One and stuff, they have to print those discs out and get all the content all in discs and get them all ready. So you have to imagine they're nearly finished the game because I'd imagine it takes a long time to do all that kind of stuff. But just after this life here, the start of the next life is the start of that streak I was telling you about. Excuse me. So he put this tweet out, and that's basically the backstory. He went to this game, or he went to DICE LA, he played the game, and he tweeted out that the M16 is burst fire. And the below part, yes, no more tryhards. Well, look, people, come on. Like, I don't know, I feel like people don't grasp this concept, and I said it before in the first take of this, but like I left it in, but I think it was being a little offensive to people. But basically, I don't think enough people are catching on to the concept of what the common sense that you need to understand this. If the M16 is burst fire in Battlefield 4, first off, it's now the M16A4, so it's not the M16A3 anymore. So regardless, but this whole no more tryhards thing, finally the M16 won't be overpowered, we don't have to deal with the M16 anymore. Look, the M16A3 in Battlefield 3 was stats with a certain gun model and skin. Okay? So, in Battlefield 4, who's to say they won't have those exact same stats, but using like for example, the AUG-A3's gun model and skin? Like, I don't know how to explain it to people that don't get it. Because most people, like, I understand most people do, but obviously, as you can see from this guy's tweet, and I don't mean any offense to him in particular, I think I'm going to blur his name just so nobody takes it the wrong way. Just, like, it's not the M16A3, like, realize that a game is made up of code and art. So the code and the stats that's built into the code for the M16A3 could be applied to any other gun in the game, and it just use a different art, being like a different model and different skin. So, just because the M16A3, it was a shock. Now, that's the main reason I'm making a video about this. It's shocking to me that they're not putting in the fully automatic M16A3 version. Not that the M16A4 is bad. It's just it's because it was such a big maybe that's why. Maybe because it caused such a big deal and it caused such a big backlash in Battlefield 3 and people hated it so much. Maybe that's why. Maybe they were just like, okay, well, we know that there's no real difference. It's the stats are the stats for that gun in Battlefield 3. Things are different. Everything's being rebalanced. But if we just take it out and just leave and just make it the M16A4, maybe that'll get people off our backs, kind of thing. Maybe that's the way they were thinking about it. But yeah, it was just I thought I'd talk about that for a little bit, just because first of all, as I said, it was a big shock to see that the M16A3, to find out this late in the game, as in this late in the before game. Like, I know that, damn it, that was a bad phrase to use. This late before the game comes out, I suppose I should say. To find out that one of the biggest guns and the most controversial weapon in Battlefield 3 isn't going to be in the game anymore, as it stands at least, that came as a big surprise. And then the reaction that I've seen to... Not only even that, even when the M16A3, even when the actual M16A3, and we thought it was the fully automatic version, when people seen that was back in the game, they were going crazy. They were like, oh god, the M16's back, it's terrible, oh my god, I hate this game, it's going to be so shit. Dude, again, I've already explained it, but hopefully if you're one of them people that thought like that, hopefully you get it now. Like, it's not the gun, it's the stats. So you best just hope to fuck that they don't put in a gun with those kind of stats. Or like those relative stats relative to the other gun. Because as I said, those stats apply to anything else, the SAR-21 or the ACE or the AUG or something like that, whatever new weapons that we're going to be getting, those stats apply to those guns. You're going to have the same problem, assuming that the other guns are relatively worse, if you know what I mean. Like, the M16 had those stats, and all the other guns in Battlefield 3 were relatively worse in one place or another. But that's pretty much it. I rambled on long enough about that. What I also wanted to talk about was the, as I mentioned it, the fact that it was mostly Call of Duty players at this event. I get it. Before anyone says anything, I get that it's a marketing thing for EA. They want to pull in all the COD kids as they can. But that's a sketchy thing for the game. Anyone who's played Battlefield recently after the Humble Bundle, particularly close quarters and that kind of thing, you will know what kind of bad stuff happens when the COD kids come into Battlefield 3. The amount of camping, the amount of jackassery that I've had to put up with in close quarters games recently has not been enjoyable, and that's all purely from the Humble Bundle. All the COD kids picking up for €5 just because they can. We can only hope for the best and hope that it doesn't turn out to be the way that it could possibly, and just hopefully that more Battlefielders play it than Call of Duty players. Hopefully any Call of Duty players that do buy it don't really like it. But just before the video's over, I just wanted to wrap up the point that it annoyed me that so many Call of Duty players, like LevelCap killed, like, I think I've seen like 6, 7, 8 Call of Duty commentators, and Dascore was the only Battlefield one that I recognised, which I found strange. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, thanks for watching, and goodbye.